Time for the FT Live post-game show. It is presented by Fox One. We have two fan bases that are starving for a World Series appearance. One has never seen it. The other hasn't seen it in a long time. And we're going to get a Game 7 in the ALCS between the Blue Jays and the Mariners, Scotty Braun and AJ Pierzynski. I mean, first off, AJ, we saw a sweep in the National League side, and there were still some cool moments on that side. But here in the American League, we've got 7. Yeah, it wasn't close. That's the point. This is as close as it gets here. We've got a Game 7. Stars are stars. Vladdy's the man. And look at Toronto getting to host a Game 7 here against a Mariners team that definitely made quite a few gaffes in this one. But it's not like you're heading into Game 7 being like, oh, yeah, Blue Jays got it.
No, not at all. I mean, yes, you mentioned the NLCS. I mean, obviously, the 3 home runs by Ohtani and the 10 punch-outs. Probably the greatest game we've ever seen. Just singular game, clinching game, the whole deal. But what did they say? Both these franchises came into existence in 1977. It's only fitting that they go 7 games to settle this score, and it's awesome. It's been a series that's been crazy. The first 4 games won by the road team. After that, obviously, the home team here wins a game. The Mariners won Game 5. The Blue Jays win Game 6, and here you go, right? I mean, every winner take all. Shane Bieber versus it's got to be Kirby. I can't imagine him pitch Castillo because he struggled against the Jays all year. Kirby gave up the most runs of all time in a postseason game at 8, I believe, last time he started. So, and the Mariners struggle away from home. The Blue Jays are great away from home. So it's all lined up. It's all going to be drama. And the most fascinating thing is we'll get into it is how the managers deploy pitchers, because that is always the talk of every postseason game.
You know what I was thinking is the Mariners have had one of the best starting staffs in baseball for the last several years. Now, it wasn't as shiny this year as the prior couple seasons. Starting pitching for the Mariners has actually been a huge problem for them besides Game 1, Bryce Miller. So as I was watching this game unfold, AJ, I was thinking, if I'm Dan Wilson, do I semi-punt once I'm down 2-3 runs and just completely save anybody I consider high leverage with at this point for them is at least 3, if not 4 or 5 relievers, and turn this into somewhat of a bullpen game with super short leashes for someone like George Kirby or anyone else that would be starting this game based on the recent history in this series? I didn't feel like they played it out that way. I understand you got to play and be competitive in this one, but I almost was thinking, man, I mean, I could get 2 or 3 innings out of Brash. It's a Game 7, right? He can do 2. I can get 2 or 3 innings out of Bizardo, 2 or 3 innings out of Munoz. I mean, that right there almost adds up for you. I know it's unconventional, but I don't know if I feel really good about any of these starters against this particular lineup matchup-wise.
No, I think you're right. I thought when it was 5-2 and they brought Brash in, I was a little bit surprised. Bizardo in the game, fine, but you know, we've talked about this. The Dodgers are really good about kind of punting a game and getting ready for the next game. Dave Roberts has learned from all of his years. Like, you know, sometimes you got to lose a battle to win the war. And, you know, Brash looked not great tonight. What can he give you through over 20 pitches? Then Jeff Hoffman threw 30 pitches tonight, 32, I think it was, or 33, whatever it was. So where's he going to be at tomorrow night? I mean, Louis Varland, dude, his arm's going to fall off. He throws it. I mean, not only does he throw one game, he throws like 2 games a day. I feel like he must throw a simulated game. It's unbelievable how much he's pitched. But I look at Game 5 for the or Game 7 for the Mariners, like when I did Game 5 against the Tigers, right? They ran. I forget who even started. Maybe Kirby, I think, started that game, and then they had Bizardo for 2, Spire for 2. Munoz for 2. They used Castillo in that game. They used Gilbert in that game. They used everybody in that game. And that's kind of what you got to look at in this game to say, all right, who's available and can you give me multiple innings if we need them out of our big guns? And by using Brash and Bizardo tonight, does it lessen their effectiveness for tomorrow? Much like Hoffman for the Jays, does it lessen their effectiveness for tomorrow?
I know fans are going to say, hey, we'll be fine. 21 pitches from Brash, and I think it was 15 for Bizardo. Even though it was 2 innings, it was 15. That's very efficient. So you'll definitely see him if needed. But going 2 innings with him, I get it. You're trying to keep your team in the game. It's a Mariners team that's boom or bust. This is a top 3 power team all year long, and this is what you're seeing. 2 very different looking, effective offenses. But for Seattle, some nights there's just not going to be much there. And then all of a sudden they'll have, a power show, or they'll have a grand slam like we saw from Gino Suarez in the prior game. So it's a very different looking matchup in terms of who you're seeing on both sides for this Game 7. But to go back for a sec to Game 6, this was pretty uncharacteristic from Seattle. It's not an amazing defense. They have certain players that are very good defensively, but this was a very sloppy game for them defensively. It was season high 3 errors, and they weren't particularly sharp on the base paths either.
No, the single, the new Rivas single for J.P. Crawford on first. Like, what are we doing? Like, you got to be at least close enough to where you can get to at least third on that ball. He got to second. And then obviously Cal Raleigh hit into the double play. I mean, they hit into 3 double plays off Yesavage in 3 innings, and all in like huge situations. And Yesavage hadn't given up a ground ball double play the whole year. And I know it's limited, but in his 5 starts previous. So it was just one of those games where the Blue Jays were meant to win. And yeah, the Mariners didn't play particularly well. The Julio era, okay, I kind of forgive that. He was probably going to get the second anyways. The Suarez era, okay, it happens. The Cal Raleigh era, trust me, I've been there. I've been there where you just panic and you just want to try and make a play, and he threw it away and it led to a run. That didn't cost him the game. To me, it was the Barger home run and it was the Vlad home run, and it was just Yesavage was pretty good in the failure to hit with runners in scoring position. That's what the errors were. The errors, and yes, it helped him get a run or two, but really it was the lack of offense that cost the Mariners in this game.
Yeah, we just showed a tweet with Brian Hogue talking about the 3 DPs for Seattle's offense. It wasn't just grounding into double plays. It was grounding into double plays at the absolute worst possible times.
Yes. Yeah.
Again and again. I mean, you had it in back-to-back
innings. They did it. Raleigh didn't. No, they did it 3 innings in a row. Raleigh did it.
Was it 3 innings in a row? Yeah.
Bases loaded, right? And then the lefty hit into the double play, the rocket to the second baseman. Crawford. J.P. Crawford hit into one. And then the next inning, Julio hit into one. So they hit into double plays 3 innings in a row to end innings. And the first one, the 3-6-1 is the hardest one to turn, and the Blue Jays did it perfectly. And I thought Smoltz and Joe Davis did a great job by explaining, Jimenez didn't throw the ball as hard as he could and gave Yesavage a chance to get over there. But again, it just came down to lack of clutch hitting. The Mariners didn't hit in the clutch tonight, and the Blue Jays did. And again, listen, A.J. Hinch told us this when he played against the Mariners. You keep them in the ballpark, you're probably going to beat them. Yes, Naylor hit the 1 home run, but other than that, if they don't, again, in this series, it's kind of what it's been. If game 5, right? The Suarez and the Raleigh homer, what they scored their runs off of. You keep them in the park, you win the game.
Mm-hmm. And for Trey Yesavage, here's Sarah Langs in a very small sample entering this one. He had 5 prior starts, no double plays coerced. This time around, you saw it in consecutive innings, and like AJ mentioned, I mean, they were on fire. Yes, we talked about it. The splitter was much better for Yesavage this time around.
Yeah, but the
Mariners weren't even swinging at it.
The first game they didn't swing at it. Tonight they swung at a lot of them.
Right, I'm saying that last game, I think they said 2 for 3, and I mean, you're like, that's it, 2 for 3 for the Mariners in the last game, because they spit out a lot of them.
Agreed. They did a way better job. Yesavage did of getting the swing at. Gosh, he threw a lot. At one point, I mean, I think they did when Verducci did the interview with Dan Wilson, he said 73% or something or some crazy number were off-speed pitches to the Mariners. I mean, that apparently is the game plan. Well, tomorrow night, guess what? When Shane Bieber takes them out, guess what they're going to see? Sliders and breaking balls and curveballs, slurve, sweepers, whatever the hell you want to call them. He's just going to be going until he gets his time, and then depending on the score, John Schneider is going to be, all right, next guy, because apparently that's the game plan.
Mm-hmm. And remember, Bieber didn't have the slider in the first in that last start. It looked flattish, and then all of a sudden you just see him unleashing more of them, and he was on fire for them. I mean, it is really cool because our show covers transactions so frequently, right? It's a big part of what we do. Who's signing who's trading for who. The Blue Jays aren't here unless they trade for Shane Bieber and get a brilliant Mad Max Scherzer start, which didn't look like a good signing for most of the year. But I said it, I think on Friday, that start alone from Max was worth the contract. It was. I mean, if that is what you needed to vault you into this situation now where you win a game 6 and you're going to get to a game 7 here and have a chance to get to the World Series, then it's worth it. We were looking at them like 2-ish starters, maybe 3 if Bieber's okay, because he was troublesome against the Yankees, got taken out in the 3rd inning, and now you're like, okay, this team has 3, if not 4 starters that you feel pretty good about. If Max Scherzer's suddenly going to have a curveball that's a factor, which hasn't really been a factor for a long time.
Yeah. They also have Bassett available. Bassett's on the
It's
roster
true.
for this. So they have another start. They have guys that can give him length. And listen, the Scherzer start was worth it just to see his face when John Schneider came out to take him out, and he basically told him to kick rocks down the street because I ain't coming out of this damn game. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. I'll do what I want. So I have no problem with them signing Max Scherzer. He still can be good when he's right and when he's healthy. So I love winner take all games, and here we go. Bieber versus Kirby. Let's see what you got in Toronto. That place is going to be going freaking ape shit. So I love it. I freaking love it. It's awesome.
I think it's worth pointing out the stars for the Blue Jays. So their two best bats this year, Vladdy, George Springer. Bo's on there too, but I think he's a notch down, and it's crazy they're doing all of this without Bo Bichette. And they have a really solid offense with, the grinders that they talk about and the no-namers that have become names for them. But Vladdy's a $500 million star, and he showed up on defense today too with that big double play. He's a smart baseball player. When he ran around?
He circled the pillows too. Let's not forget tonight.
Right. He homered. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He did a lot of good things, a lot of smart things, and obviously showed off the pop in this game. That's his 6th home run of the postseason. He has been a superstar, right, for them. This is exactly why they signed them. He's got the hit tool and he's got pop. He's a force. He's such a good playoff hitter too. Do you know, does that make sense to phrase it that way?
He's up this game. Because here's the thing. The thing about Vladdy was, and listen, I played against his dad in the playoffs. You could get his dad to swing at anything, okay? But he would hit it, right? You could throw balls that bounce and hit him out of the park, okay? But the one thing about Junior is in the playoffs, he has shrunk the zone to where he is really locked in. And this is what we always talk about with players in the postseason. You shrink the zone because you just concentrate more. It's every pitch means so much more, so you just lock in. I know it shouldn't be that way, but I'm telling you, it happens. And he looks like a different player. He's taking controlled swings. He's swinging at balls in the strike zone. And this team doesn't strike out a lot. They get in, and that's when the one thing that they keep saying is, if you throw mediocre breaking balls to the Blue Jays, they whack them, right? Strike breaking balls, they whack them because they don't swing and miss. So, listen, and Vlad is the leader of this. And Vlad, if Vlad goes, they go. Just watch. If he goes up in the first inning tomorrow and he gets a hit, watch the energy, not only on that team of the Blue Jays change, but in Rogers Center. Watch how the energy just goes through the roof.
Mm-hmm. And for Springer, obviously didn't get a knock. He had a walk. It's crazy. He looks like he's feeling it pretty good. So I guess my question is, do you think about anything differently for the next game, or you just roll him out there and hope that he's going to be okay and he can take some big swings for the team? Is it when you're a teammate of his, are you like, okay, this dude came to play? Because I don't want to compare injuries. Anthony Santander ends up going down for the rest of the season, back's bothering him. He's had issues all year, right? And then you look at someone like Springer and you're like, damn, that guy got drilled with 97. Yeah. I always think fractured kneecap, and he's playing.
Back and knee are way different though. Back, you're I don't know if you ever hurt your back, but it's like debilitating. You almost can't move, right? Yeah, a knee, he got hit in the knee, and I know it hurt. Obviously it hurt. I've been hit in the knee plenty of times, right? Here's the thing. Springer can hit. He looked uncomfortable a little bit, but he can go up there and hit. He can't play the outfield. He's the DH, which is fine. That's what they need him for. But listen, let's just say he runs into a ball in Game 7. It'll be all worth it. Then it has, 3 or 4 days to get ready for the World Series. So if they win, you got to run him out there. I'm sorry. He's just a presence. You saw the first at bat of the game, 9 pitch at bat, the first at bat of the game. And it just sets a tone. And pitchers know if you make a mistake the first pitch, it can be 1-0, and that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Hey, quick reminder to everyone that we're doing this live right now, recapping Game 6 of the ALCS. We'd love if you can hit the subscribe button. It's a simple ask here. If you're checking us out and you don't usually check out Foul Territory and you just stumbled upon us or whatever it is, right, on our quest for 300K subs. But really appreciate everyone checking this out right now. Hit the sub button. It would be cool. Anyway, let's go back to the Mariners. I'm just checking out the chat as we're talking, and I do want to make this clear. We'll do predictions of some sort on Monday's live show at 1:00 Eastern. We're not saying Seattle's dead. I said this at the top.
No.
There are many roadmaps for Seattle to create to win a game for game 7, and they won. You can say, oh man, but now like Toronto's got the momentum and they're home. Okay. How did the first 2 games of this series go?
No. 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 I cannot disagree. I cannot disagree with the Toronto has all the momentum in this series. Because if there's one thing we've learned in this series, nobody has any clue what the hell's going to happen. Everyone would have said, oh, this team's going to win. This team's going to win. Nobody has any idea what's going to happen tomorrow. That's what makes game 7 so great. Who's going to pitch? We know who's going to start. We don't know how long they're going to go. We don't know who's going to get the big hit. Was it going to be Ernie Clement shanking one over the first baseman's head for a double? Is it going to be Gino Suarez hitting a grand slam? Is it going to be Leo Rivas down there like he did in game 5, tying it up? You just never know, and that's what's awesome. But yeah, as far as momentum, Tom Kelly used to say this, it's an old baseball term. Momentum's only good as your next day starting pitcher. And you know what? Trey Yesavage outpitched Logan Gilbert. That's why the Blue Jays won. Look at who's done better usually. That's the team that wins. So it's going to come down to who gets the best start, who can get the most outs out of their starter usually, and then who's healthy enough in the bullpen and not exhausted enough, because these guys have all been used a ton. And the high leverage guys for both these teams. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to it. And I just wish it started a little bit earlier, just so it's late on the East Coast for a guy that's old.
It is. Hey, the only thing I'll say to make you feel a little bit better is remember what this looked like 3 years ago and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been part of, and as have you, long games, broadcast-wise, coverage-wise, pre and post, all that kind of stuff. And obviously it's fun, but we get all of that action packed into about 3 hours versus a game 5 or a game 7. It's super cool, but it would be like 4.5 plus. And you can be like, oh, well, you don't like baseball enough. Like, no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. Like, I want to see the action packed into a certain time period and not every moment be dragged out where, people start to be like, okay, let's go. So that's me. I do like the way like the pace is playing. And I remember it was a discussion at one point, like, oh, well, it's going to mess up the big moments, right? You're not going to have that. It really hasn't messed up the big moments.
What big moment?
You know what? You needed an extra 40 seconds for batting gloves to be readjusted again in a game 5 or a game 7, right? Depending on a series, for you to feel really good about it. I feel like there's plenty of tension that builds. There's still plenty of mound visits and pitching changes, and we're good. So it'll be nice. Hey, on the Dodger fan side, you're excited, I guess, because you're getting this to 7, but both teams get plenty of rest. What are you thinking heading into game 7 if you're a fan of the Dodgers? Like, do you think there's a team that they match up better than? Oh, perfect. Jay Blank dropping this in as a Dodger fan. I don't know who I want to face. It's a good call. I mean, the Mariners lineup has more pop. The Blue Jays lineup seems more pesky. The Mariners have a better bullpen. I don't know now with the starting pitching tail of the tape because of the way some of the Mariners starters have looked. Like on paper, it's definitely edge Mariners, but I don't know. If you're a Dodger fan, who do you want to see?
You want my honest opinion? Doesn't matter. Where have I had the Dodgers in my power rankings the entire season?
You just think they're going to just run through whatever?
I don't know if they're going to run through them, but I just think they're the best team. I think they're healthy at the right time. Now, and everyone's going to say, oh, but they're going to get all this time off. Listen, these guys aren't young guys. They're not they're veteran guys that know how to prep themselves. Dave Roberts has been through this. The Dodgers have been through this a million times. I just feel like it shouldn't matter if you're a Dodgers fan. You should just be like, okay, we got here. We got through the hardest part, and now we go. And now we have a chance to win the World Series. So, yeah, honestly, if I'm the Dodgers, I'd rather face the Blue Jays because their starting pitchers are a little bit less than what the Mariners possibly can be, and the bullpen is a little less than what the Mariner bullpen can be.
Okay. And hey, the Mariners can change some games with one swing. Not that the Blue Jays can't, but there's definitely more power.
There's more depth. There's more power depth in the Blue Jays lineup than there is in the Mariners lineup than there is in the Blue Jays lineup.
Right. Hey, one thing I want to make sure we mention since we weren't on after game 5, Jeff Hoffman. Should he have been in there? And then what about the way he was used in game 6 just now and how that could, make him less effective or whatever? Obviously, he's going to be available. He'll pitch if need be. Now, is he going to go 2 innings? It might be
I
asking a
doubt it.
lot of him.
I doubt it. But I think if you can give him one inning and be
Mhm.
effective. How was he used in game 5? I mean, listen, John Schneider knows his team better. I understand why he wanted to flip Cal Raleigh around because, Little hadn't given up home runs and this and that. But Cal Raleigh, if you look at his stats, he hit way more homers as a righty per at bat than he did as a lefty. I think he hit 32 as a lefty and 28 or something like that as a righty, some number like that. But he got way less at bats as a right-handed hitter. So, listen, and again, listen, that only tied the game, right? The problem is after that, the walks are where it killed them, and then they fell behind, and then Gino Suarez came up and hit the grand slam that put that game away. But I have no problem with the way he deployed it. I think he was just trying to get through that, and then he knew he had Hoffman for the ninth. But it's always easy to say, oh, he should have had Hoffman throw 2 innings. What happens if Hoffman gives up that home run in the 8th? And then maybe his confidence is shot. I don't know. It's always easy to look back and say, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that. How do we know? Maybe Hoffman was sick. Maybe Hoffman, I don't know, got bit by a mosquito or something. I don't know. Like, who knows?
Well, he also gave the explanation. I mean, they don't have as much confidence in him as some of the most dominant closers in the sport. And I think that's fair. I mean, I don't know if the explanation made sense. Like, he gives up homers. Like, okay. Yeah, there's definitely some risk there. But it's not like he's a bad pitcher. It's just that the way that runs are given up by Hoffman are via home run. So Brendan Little, I mean, has had his moments in the postseason. I don't know if he's going to be in the circle of trust after that mess of a 3 batters that he faced. But I see what John Schneider's saying in my mind, AJ, is that this isn't a top 10 relief ace in our sport, right? In some cases, you're like, like in the Dodgers Phillies series in the NLDS, there was at least 1 or 2 spots, especially I think it was game 4, maybe we were like, okay, Duran's got to come in now. You can't wait. You got to come in right now. Like, this is the inning where you need to shut it down. You worry about later. I don't know if that's the way that the Blue Jays bullpen is constructed, where it's like there's that one guy, like, okay.
Agreed. I agreed 1,000,000% with you. There's not that one. I mean, Hoffman has been the guy that has closed the games at the end of the year, but he's not the guy that you look at and I like Hoffman, so I don't want to. This is not bad mouthing. I'm just saying.
No,
he's not the guy that strikes fear in you. He's not Mariano Rivera. He's not Eric Gagne when he was doing his thing, right? He's not Trevor Hoffman. He's not whoever you want to. He's not Clase last year when you were like, man, nobody can hit this dude. So. Yeah, he's not the guy that, if you look out there and you say, okay, Jeff Hoffman's warming up. All right, well, maybe somebody can run into one here. He could punch us out, but we also could run into one. And we saw him struggle in the postseason last year. So there is a little history there. But if you're the Blue Jays and you got a 1-run lead, guess who's getting the ball? Hoffman, and you better just hope he doesn't give up a homer.
And if you're the Blue Jays and you're in a tight spot in like the 5th or 6th inning and –
Louis Varland.
Strikeout.
Louis Varland's coming in no matter what. I mean,
it is.
Remember when he was traded, everybody was like, what are they doing? Louis Varland, who is this guy, right? And everyone in the Twins is like, why are we giving up Louis Varland? He's been pretty good. He's got like 4 more years of control. We're giving him up for nothing. So, I mean, great trade by the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think Varland's still a league min guy, right? Yeah.
He is. He's like in his 2nd year or something.
Yeah, he's still a league min guy. Yeah, that's crazy. No. Right, based on service time here. I mean, he's actually been up and down, I think, since 2022, but it's low. It's low enough that I think he's still a league minimum guy. I got to double check that, but I believe I'm accurate there.
I know I know he has years of control remaining because I remember when he got traded, everybody's like, "Why are the Twins trading that guy? He's got all kinds of controllable years left." And there, Twins people were like, "Oh, we don't know."
Yeah, earliest ARB eligible 2027. So good for Toronto. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do. I think that's all we got for this one. And if you have questions, thoughts for us, good news. We do a 2-hour show every weekday. So we're going to get some rest. I'm going to fly down there. We'll do the show in Orlando on Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern time. We've got a 2-hour show.
Not Winter Park.
Not Winter Park. Different spot, but that's Logan Gilbert's spot. And that bio
except that's not where he's from, which is funny. If you watch the show, you know that he explained he's not from Winter Park.
Type Logan Gilbert into YouTube. Type Logan Gilbert foul territory, and then you can watch the conversation. It was good. And Logan and Trey Yesavage will be the only guys that are definitely not pitching in Game 7. Otherwise, it's going to be crazy. We'll get more in terms of how things could play out in terms, quotes and stuff post game and pre-game that we'll talk about as much as possible on the 1:00 show. We do know George Kirby is going to start that one. That was announced right away, right afterward. So we'll look forward to that. Joe Girardi is scheduled to join the 1:00 East Coast time show. So that conversation will go in a number of directions.
Did he manage in any winner take all games, Joe Girardi?
My guess is yes, just based on how much time he spent.
I know he had to have played. He played in some. He had to have played in some for sure.
To. I mean, he's played in so many. He played in so many postseason games, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He was on those really good Yankee teams that just won it in like 3 games. So I don't know. That's why I kind of asked that question.
Yeah, and I mean the Yankees are in the playoffs almost every year. He managed the Yankees for a long period of time. So, 2017 ALCS was at the end for Joe Girardi, and that was Game 7 against the Trash Can Astros. I think that was it.
They lost. They lost that game. Isn't that the Altuve homer game where he wouldn't take his shirt off? Isn't that the whole? That was the whole thing that started that conspiracy.
No, theory? That was 2019.
Well, so many.
Yeah, 2017. He is right? No. 2017 was when he didn't take it off? No, 2017 was when they cheated, and we didn't find out about it until, 2019? And we had already known there was an issue, and that's when speculation was buzzing about them in general, and then it was
buzzing. That was funny.
2019.
That was funny. That was a good wordplay, buzzing.
But exactly. Thank you. That was completely by accident. And yes, he was fired 2017. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. We're going to talk to Joe tomorrow. We'll talk about, a lot of things with him, including Yanks and Phillies, and then this scenario that's playing out here, this Game 7. So thanks for watching, everyone. And also, you can watch the next game, Game 7, on the new Fox One app. They live for live. Go check it out. QR code's on the screen. The link for the Fox One app is in the description of both the podcast that'll come out for this and the YouTube episode. It's really in all of ours. They're the presenting sponsor for these few weeks here of the postseason coverage on Foul Territory. We will see you at 1:00.